Kirk Heinrich. You had Jeff Teague in Minnesota. I'm just trying to think. Did Tom Thibodeau really ever have truly defensive guards? I don't think so. I think Tom Thibodeau, he had some forwards, obviously centers, big men who could defend. Gang, whatever his name is, and
but he also had like those what do you call that Brewer was not Corey, just the Brewer that we had on the Knicks later on that was shooting all those corner 3-pointers with that. We had Corey, but Corey didn't play for us. Not Jackie. Oh man, what's his name?
Steve.
Yeah, he played for the Knicks, Guillermo. A little bit chubby dude.
Yeah, he played for the Tom Thibodeau where, in Chicago? Or?
Yeah, I think in Chicago. He played in Chicago, for Tibbs.
Chubby dude played for the Knicks, shoots corner threes.
I'm gonna look up the name for you.
Robin Lopez.
No, I can't be Robin.
No.
I like Robin Lopez a lot.
Ronnie Brewer.
Oh, Ronnie Brewer. Oh, that's the guy came from Utah with that weird shot because of his. He had like a weird. He was a kid.
Push up from the front, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, but Ronnie Brewer wasn't like a real.
He wasn't like a lockdown defender, right?
He was like a major rotation guy for Tom Thibodeau's teams, though, right? Because I mean, his heyday was really with the Utah Jazz. Went to the Bulls, kind of like a bench guy.
Oh, he played for the Bulls as well. He played for Tibbs.
No, yeah, because he was starting
shooting those corner 3-pointers. He was taking those corner 3-pointers for Tibbs also.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. What up, Step Back? You got any topic, any questions, stuff like that, so we can chop it up?
What do you think the Knicks will get with Frank Ntilikina? Because he doesn't have any value right now.
Yeah, he's gonna have to show out, bro. He doesn't have much value now. I think that some other teams want to probably get him on the cheap because they could develop him, use him, play major minutes as a defensive guard off the bench who could hopefully grow into an off-ball shooting role. I think he did improve like his corner threes or something like that this past season. So, I mean, teams see value in him, but the way we play him and the minutes, I know people are like, oh, we give him a chance, but I mean, there have been times we have given him chances, but those were many times where he did well and we took him out and then allowed him to play. It's like we had very inconsistent so-called development of Frank. So, I don't think we get much. I don't think we get a second-round pick for him.
That's why I wouldn't trade him. I think he's a really good piece that is not going to command a really big contract. So, and the first thing and the foremost, he wants to be, in New York. It's like, I don't know, remember who said it, that, European players really want to stick in bigger cities, just because they can feel a little bit more home. They probably have some, French, from starting from restaurants, people and stuff like that, more than an example in Utah or in Indiana, wherever, right? So I think it's really a good thing that they can have a direct flight for, to home, just to kill that homesickness, because for young people it's really important, to adapt to the NBA. So I think it's really, really good. And I'm a huge Frank fan. So, I could go on for half an hour, just, straight up why we should keep him and don't even think about trading him. But if you would want to trade him, I think you can get a late first round pick for him. If it would be a year before, I think you would get a little bit more because you wouldn't have to think about the contract extension. Because when a new team gets him, I don't think they're going to be able to evaluate him through the season, and we don't even know when the season is going to start, basically. On this topic also, I don't know if you guys recall, but last year at this time, this was the first day of the NBA, of the first day of the 2019-2020 season. So the NBA should be starting right now as we speak almost, but it's not going to happen now. So Yeah, but like I said, Frank, he's a really good piece on a championship team. He would be in a rotation, but we're trying to start to build from the other way, right? So we're starting to bring from pieces to the main guys.
Because for me, I rather have Dennis Smith Jr. as the point guard and go from
Oh,
there.
Frank.
Over Frank, yes.
I'm not gonna lie, I would never do that, but I see if he would pan out, I think Dennis Smith Jr. is closer to a point guard of, and I'm not telling that he's gonna play like Derrick Rose, just from playing style. I think Dennis Smith Jr. is closer to Derrick Rose than Frank. They have that first dynamic step, they have that bounce, but I don't know about the rest.
Like I know shooting is his weakness,
Yeah, both
but
of
like
those guys have weak shots.
yeah. Yeah, but I think shooting will come as it goes.
Yeah,
Dennis Jr. scares me. I don't want to build anything around him. I wish he'd go to G League and restructure his game. I think he needs development as a proper point guard. He's never got that at NC State. He never got that with the Mavericks, and he plays solely on his athleticism. We've seen when he had that lower back injury, he could not do anything. His shot is still janky. He needs time, and I mean playing time, where he's reforming his shot, not just summer. When you take these Instagram pics, oh yeah, I'm doing this. No, you need to be in a game situation where you can process the game, knowing the shot. I mean, I've seen many times last year where he had a defender on him, and he's dribbling, trying to do all this stuff, and he takes an ill-advised shot. Like he didn't create any space really, and he just chucked up a shot, and then 4 times in the clock. So to me, Dennis Jr. he has to reform his shot. Everything we know, we look at Dennis Jr. is basically is still so-called draft hype with him, right? We were enamored with his high school mixtape. We were enamored with all these beautiful dunks, but it's not sustainable. And he's only 6'2", 6'1", 6'2".
yeah. Guillermo, just to add to your point about the injuries, he had ACL injuries, back injuries, and those injuries, and those injuries are gonna maybe not linger, but those injuries can cause major health issues down the road as for his whole career, right? He's not going to be playing like 37, 38 as I know, experienced point guard mentoring guys. Believe me that he's going to be, someone in Florida, and swimming in his, swimming pool probably at that age. I don't wish him, any bad injuries and stuff like that. But I think those injuries are major. Me myself, I had an ACL injury, 4 years now. I played basketball after the injury. I rehabbed really good, really fast. The doctors were, really surprised that I'm running at that point. But like I only needed like 2-3 weeks of a break, and then not the rehab process had to start again. But I felt loose. The ACL was a little bit. I felt like it was a little bit too long. I have too much space in the in the knee, and it started to dripping out as well. So it's not a fun injury. You learn how to walk after that reconstruction, right? So it's a major injury. It's not something like you twisted your ankle or stuff like that. Even a broken bone would probably heal better because you don't tear the ligaments. So those nerve endings and stuff like that. That's a really bad injury. So.
But I have a question off topic. But what do you think the Warriors should do? Should they keep Wiggins and keep Marquise, or
You know what? From the latest reports are that they are looking at Denny at 2.
They worked him out today, I believe.
Yeah, they worked him out and they are liking him. So if they're gonna, try Denny, draft Denny and try him out in the starting lineup, he would look good with those guys because I would look good on one knee with those guys, right? But when you think about it, that might not be a stupid idea for those guys. for if they don't find a trade partner, but they also could trade down like 2-3 spots and still take Denny and get rid of that Wiggins contract, because I think that's what would hurt them in the long term if they pick a guy like Denny, because first you don't get minutes to play him if you're going to have a guy like Wiggins, because he's going to cause locker room problems probably. If I was him and I was getting that money, I would not want to play, and if they played a rookie over me, I probably wouldn't handle that good. It's like Melo, right? If you bring back Melo and still play, a younger guy, and he would feel that he's still better than him, he wouldn't like that. So that would be a problem in the locker room, as long as I see it.
I just think with Jordan, like, he doesn't really fit that. Like, how does he fit the team? The thing where
he would fit there because he's like a point forward. So they could be playing like two shooting guards, and he would be the point forward. He can easily fit that. I would see that.
Does he shoot well enough?
No, he doesn't have to shoot that well. He
does.
He can take a corner three and that, but he could run the floor with them.
Yeah, but you have to be able to shoot, because remember, the ball moves between Steph, Clay, and Dre.
Yeah.
They're going to not say that one is. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would say he was going to replace, Draymond in that rotation of
passing. I thought you said Wiggins. I thought you said he would replace Wiggins.
Yeah, he would. But I mean, in the offense on passing the ball, I think he would easily play on Draymond's position.
See, it's tough because the thing about even
Draymond's 3-point shot.
No, it's tough. What Draymond does is that as a big man, as a guy when they play small, he plays a center. He could bring the big man out, especially if it's ISO or if it's man. He brings a big man out to have now to play in the perimeter. That's what makes facilitation so unique. I don't know.
I'm going to tell you. I don't like Danny as a prospect for the Knicks, but I think he can bring, more power offensively than Draymond for the Warriors.
Oh yeah, offensively, yeah.
After he can definitely, on defense. No, on defense, Draymond is not replaceable on that squad. He knows how to, play most of the, defense on bigger guys and stuff like that. So he's not going to be replaced by Danny on defense. But on offense, I see it easily. And I'm not a fan of Danny.
I think James Wiseman could be a good piece for Warriors.
Yeah, they're looking for a center. They don't. Their centers from the past didn't have to be the most skilled ones. So Wiseman probably would be the best like they had in a couple of years now. So
James Wiseman is weird because I think he could be solid, but I wish they probably wish you had a 3-point shot. Now they do need rim protectors, but you could draft rim protectors later on in like guys who are just specialists at that. I wonder if you have a guy like Watt. They also had guys like Pascal who kind of came onto the scene.
Yeah. They didn't think he's going to play that huge role, but I think he's going to play a lesser role, of course, if when Clay and Steph returns, right? So.
I'm just trying to think
what about Joel Embiid?
To the Warriors?
He can't run the floor. He's going to be often injured. They already have an older squad. If you think about it, that team is getting older, so they probably want somebody to contribute right away. I think Wiseman is talented, but I think he's going to need years to develop him because he has moves to the basket, but for the most part, he's not the most. He's not as advanced as like an Embiid now. Obviously, that's a tough comparison, but there are things to this game that have to improve. I'm not sure that he's going to be able to learn on the fly with a team that moves the way they do. I think that when a guy runs the floor, the guy I think that would be great for them would be a guy like Jalen Smith. The guy can shoot the three, can run the floor, can be athletic, can utilize athleticism. He's probably not the best of dribblers, but if he could come, I think in that system where a lot of people moving a lot, and he doesn't necessarily have to be that adept on the ball. Maybe he just gets the ball, gives a few dribbles, and makes a proper pass. He could be dangerous. But
You have to trade down, like way down from the second spot, right?
yeah, you have to get a package, or maybe I don't know what the second round is. No, you probably going to trade up, but yeah, you have to trade Wade. Oh, it's Wade. I think Jason was going to go late.
15, right? 15 between 15 and 20, probably, right?
Yeah, he's definitely going to go late teens. So
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of hard for the. I think they're just trying to. I think almost the Warriors are like kind of thrown out there like, look, all these names that some of you teams are interested in, we might take a Denny. We might take, all these guys. I think they're waiting or hoping that someone gives them a package they could trade out of.
Yeah, yes, no, it would look stupid if they didn't even look at those prospects, right?
Right.
You have the second pick overall in the draft, and you're going to look at guys that are supposed to be drafted, in the 20s. That's bizarre. And for that spot, right, that they have coming back this season, so that will be a really disrespect to the rookies and stuff like that. So at least they're going to work out from the 10 guys possible that working out. They're going to work out probably 3, 4, and then the rumors are going to spread if they're going to look for guys in the teams. They're going to try to trade them.
Man, I think the Warriors are still going to be like contenders next season.
Yeah, probably so. If they don't get re-injured.
Yeah, they got to stay healthy. Got to stay healthy. It's just Curry's getting at that age where every other day he's injured. Not every other day, but the little ankle injuries here and there. Then Clay coming from the ACL injury could be tough. We'll see, man. We'll see. But if they're all healthy, they'll definitely be contenders. I just feel like they probably now. Here's the issue: the best teams know when their windows are closing, and they should probably take the best player available. But I think they're going to go with a guy that fits that system now. Definitely when Clay and Curry kind of fade off, they're gonna probably wish they took best player available in some of these drafts, man, because they might have to change the way they play. I mean, look at the Heat. The Heat literally the past. I mean, obviously they didn't win a championship this year, but it's the past 3 championship level teams all had different styles of play, right? And so the best teams always find, all right, we're gonna slowly implement this guy. So if it's a Wiseman, slowly build Wiseman. He may not get featured as much in this offense now, but we're slowly gonna make him a 3-point shooter. And then when those guys kind of fade off, we can use his dikes of basket, his post moves, or budding, hopefully growing post moves, and his run into the rim, pick and roll abilities that he had since he was drafted, and make him this, double-double type of machine, and then you draft other guys around him. So, as you see, but I think they're throwing some smoke screens out there to just get somebody to give him a big play.
I think they have to. Yeah, but since you touched this topic, hypothetically, do you think the Warriors from 2 years back before the injuries would come out of the West with the current Lakers?
Would they come out the West with the current Lakers?
With
the one with
KD?
No, without KD. Just that the roster that they would have this year, just healthy with Clay and with Steph. And the rest of the guys.
Well, they had the rim protector in Bogut, but here's the thing: when that Lakers team defensively, the way they were playing zone, and when they were throwing out double teams from the zone, I think that was purposely to shut down perimeter play, like dynamic perimeter play. When the Warriors came in, though, they kind of, I would say revolutionized, but they kind of reignited, or what do you want to call it, perimeter play, right? Where there's a lot of off-ball movement to get guys out on the perimeter, whether it's in the corner, whether it's on the wing, whether it's the top of the key. So it's tough because it's like the immovable object versus the unstoppable force, right? It's like one was created for the other, but one kind of like revolutionized the game to where that system is almost perfect. I don't say perfect, but one of the best systems offensively. Like Steph Curry go from like basically people didn't care about Steph Curry or know about him, but as a heavy on-ball guy, I mean, guys always average above 40% shooting threes outside of this past injury year. And to have him play off ball to make him that dynamic of a player, It's tough. It's tough. And you have Andrew Bogut as rim protector. You also have Iguodala playing defense. I would love to see Bogut and Iguodala harass AD.
Yeah, that would be a better matchup than what we had this year.
There's just no the injuries and there's just no chance. The Lakers too much. That's hard, man. I call it a wash. I don't know. I can't call it. I'd probably lean more towards the Lakers just because Harrison Barnes that second year he kind of flopped in the playoffs or in the finals at least. But that might be leaning toward. I don't know. Whatever. I ain't gonna call it.
How about you, step back? What do you think?
I think the Warriors could beat the Lakers because man, the bench they're not consistent. Like Kyle Kuzma wasn't consistent. Like if they had Avery Bradley, maybe.
But the Lakers had. I agree with you, right? Kyle Kuzma would come in some days and give you 15 off the bench, and other days he'd give you like 2. I'm like, what the hell? But the thing about that team is that they had so many. You also remember you had Rondo, right? Rondo, who's an excellent passer, when healthy, and the guy was hitting threes.
And Rondo they probably won the finals because of Rondo.
Yes,
he was a major factor in that series.
You couldn't rest. Your main guys could not rest. Rondo coming in playing great defense. His facilitation was stupid good. And he was hitting threes. It was unstoppable. You take Rondo out those teams, they probably lose. They might even lose. They might have a tougher time even with the Nuggets because Rondo was just that good. Now, obviously, AD is an absolute beast, but I just felt like their role players did such an amazing job in the playoffs that we forget how well. Even guys like, I guess you call him a starter. He's not necessarily a role player, but compared to LeBron and AD, KCP was playing amazing. You know what I mean? Like they had all the other guys. Literally, everybody did their job. So, yeah, it's tough to call it, man. Warriors, man. The Warriors just came out of nowhere with that, with the system, and well, I guess how effective that system was. Now Draymond too. Who'd Draymond be on? Draymond be on LeBron. Yeah, Draymond be LeBron. And you have Bogut and Iguodala harassing AD. Klay Thompson would be on KCP. I guess. It's tough. It's tough, man.
Yeah, it would be a tough one. And we have a question from the chat. What do you think about the Celtics next season? Asked from a Celtic fan.
I like the Celtics. A few things. Jaylen Brown has to be a lot more aggressive. You can't average 20 points, 38% from three, 40 mid 40s from the field, and be that tentative in the playoffs. Like it took a while for Jaylen to get aggressive. I forgot which game it was versus the Heat. I remember where Jaylen was just like it wasn't until like the end of the game where he started driving baseline. Jordan fouls. I'm like, dog, you should have been doing this all game. And literally the next game, he had like a monster game because you can't. A guy athletic, and when you're good around the rim, your depth around the rim, that means you're that efficient, and you can shoot a little bit. You're hard to guard, right? Jaylen Brown, I just felt like he was too tentative. I don't know what it is between him and Tatum. I don't think they have like a bad relationship. Another thing that Tatum has to stop doing, he has to stop falling in love with a shot. Tatum has to stop falling in love with his damn shot. Too many times. He took them out the game, especially against the Heat, where he's trying to be Kobe and do these little step backs and elbow jump, forcing elbow. It's like, dogs, go to the basket. They're fouling you. They can't stay in front of you. So those two. Also, Kemba didn't have that good of a playoffs, right? I wonder, but I think that Kemba and his mentality, his veteran leadership, guys 29 or 30, I think that he's better for that team as a point guard than Kyrie was. Obviously, IT.
Yeah, that's for sure. I just think that Kemba. No, he was in the playoffs a couple of times, but his first years in with the Hornets, right? He couldn't make the playoffs for nothing. And I think he maybe not the lack of experience, but I think he still gets those butterflies when he gets to the playoffs. It's still something new for him. It's not like he feels safe and plays a season like like always.
And I think he took a step back Jaylen Brown. So because he took a step back to Jason Tatum.
No, what
Just
I wouldn't call it a step back. I think he probably reached his ceiling. I don't think Jalen Brown can be any better. I don't see him developing. I don't know a really consistent shot or something like that. I think Jalen Brown is what's he's gonna be in the NBA, and he's gonna be at this point probably a steady player, a heavy rotation minute player. But I don't think he's gonna, maybe in a couple of years he can add something to his, arsenal. But I don't see, a thing that he's gonna come into this next season and do stuff, and we're gonna be like, where was this, a couple of years time? But yeah.
The thing about that team, you have two very good two-way players in Tatum and Brown. And I think that Brad Stevens has to find a proper game plan when to feature which players. I think that his voice was a little low, Brad Stevens, against the Heat. That's why Tatum overshooting, taking the team out of focus. Say basically,
remember that Stevens has also Hayward on that team, which he coached in college. So that was hard for him to split those minutes between those guys probably. So that's why they're looking to trade Hayward now.
Yeah, I mean, $31 million he's going to make this year or something like that.
Yeah. And I see him playing, in the team like Indiana. I know, as long as white people, stuff and stuff like that. I don't see him, playing in a team like Boston.
I see him going back to Utah. They need shooters.
Yeah,
they don't. No, Utah needs
more
shooters.
Than shooters, right? But I think Indiana's really are rebuild mode, so they're gonna tear that apart. So and I think it's gonna be not like an overnight thing for them. It's gonna be a couple of years of lottery picks for Indiana.
Okay. I don't know what they're gonna do to all the people, man.
Yeah, they offered him a four-year, $80 million contract before the season, right? So they basically said, okay, you're gonna be rehabbing, so we're gonna give you $20 million a year, right? And he was earning more before that, so that was a slap probably for him in the face.
Right.
So yeah.
That Oladipo trade. I mean, that Oladipo, man, that situation is gonna be weird, man. Well, I don't know. They also have some bonus, and they got Evan Turner.
Miles Turner. Yeah, they got to get rid of one of those guys, and it's probably going to be Turner, right? So, I saw more potential in Turner before the season started. Before this season, not on the bubble, before the season started. I was thinking that Turner is going to be really a beast, but he looked lost when Sabonis was on the floor.
Yeah,
really lost.
Basically, he can shoot the elbow, he can shoot the free throw shot, but I think that he'd rather have that spacing down low where that's his main position. Just the bonus is just go with depth down low. And guys, I'm not yawning because I'm tired. I'm yawning because it's cold. Every time it gets cold, like that just makes me yawn a lot. I'm not tired. It's just weird. I don't know why there's like a weird draft, but outside is like 70. But yeah, Sabonis, yeah, it's gonna be weird, man. I think that obviously Nate McMillan is gone.
Yeah, they got a new coach. So they're going to be growing pains there for sure.
Right. I don't know how they rebuild, because they're going to keep one. So it's not going to be a full rebuild, full strip down. But Oladipo coming off so many injuries, what can you get for him? I think the value is Miles Turner, but Miles Turner hasn't been truly able to. Let me look at Miles Turner's stats.
No, he's a good defensive player, but he looks like it's so heavy for him to run up the court.
Right.
He's looking like way tired. So
yeah. 12.1 points, 45.7% from the field, 34.4% from the 3-point line, 75.1% from the strike.
He has that elbow jumper, right? But rest is only on the rim. So he's not like an offensive side on wherever, right? So, well, step back. I see you got a Toronto Raptors.
Yes.
Hoodie on. You're a Toronto Raptors fan?
Not quite, but
I was thinking we're gonna go on Toronto topic a little bit.
Just randomly have a Raptors.
Yeah, I'm a Knicks fan.
Oh, okay. So you're one of us. So.
Oh yeah, but like,
Yo, so what do you guys think about the Fred VanVleet deal? 20 million per year for 4 years.
No,
I wish him luck.
Yeah,
Bro, for that money. See
if
you,
he's
see,
made a
see you
league
in the
guard,
Atlantic Division versus you, bro.
if he's made the league guard anyway, he's definitely going to struggle, man. He's just not that type of player, man. Yeah. He's just not that type of player. I'm telling you, man. Lack of size, lack of explosiveness. I mean, he's going to struggle.
And Guillermo, for me, he's gonna get exposed when there's no Marc Gasol, no,
Kyle Lowry.
Serge Ibaka, no Kyle Lowry on the floor. He gets exposed, but no.
Look what happened when he got.
They had a squad of 5 All-Stars almost. And if they're gonna have let's say maybe not crappy guys, that's about word to say about an NBA player, right? But if they're gonna play Chris Boucher or whatever instead of Marc Gasol, it's not gonna be the same game.
No.
Let's
Even
be sure
though
about it, right?
I think he has good defensive potential, but go back to I forgot which game it was. It was one of the games where Kyle Lowry was hurt or out during the playoffs, and Fred VanVleet struggled, man.
Yeah.
You can't make him the lead guard. He's going to struggle unless you put another aggressive guard.
Remember, he was isn't he second round draft pick? Or he's a first round? He's definitely a late. He's not one of the lottery picks, I believe. No, he was playing with all around Burgundy, Baker in the college, right? In Florida somewhere.
Yeah, he was playing
in Wichita State, right?
Wichita State. He was undrafted.
Yeah, undrafted. See.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not paying.
I wish him the best, but I don't see him, earning that 80 million. Or it's gonna be a Landry Fields, thing. He's gonna get that money and bye Felicia. And Landry Fields, I don't know if you guys know, he's the general manager of the Atlanta Hawks G League team. Yeah, and he was working with the Spurs, so he's a smart dude probably.
Yeah, I remember Landry Fields, man. That was my guy, man. I still remember he fit inside that D'Antoni offense before Melo came in. Then his career because he was just he's not a good player in isolation, but
he was one of those D'Antoni products, right? D'Antoni also always gets a couple of those guys, money because they only fit that squad, and when they get traded, you don't see them like nowhere, right? They don't even crack rotations sometimes. But D'Antoni always had those players, and that's gonna happen in a fast system, right? Because there's more shots, more stuff like that, easier points, probably scoring. So it's really a good, a weird thing for those products. We got another question. Do you guys think Paul George should get traded?
Ooh.
I think Kawhi already made that clear.
Oh man, I see a lot of that crap. I don't know if it's true. I don't know the rumors, man.
But did you see the rumor that Kawhi wanted Beverly out and was looking for a real point guard for the team?
See, that's the thing about it. I don't know, man. I don't know. See, yeah, I heard about that, but is that Kawhi talking? Is that the team? Somebody
his uncle.
So the team wants, but they want to try and lie and say that it's Kawhi that's pushing it. I don't know, man. Steve Ballmer, and all that bluster, all that flair. This guy. Now he's stuck. The thing about it, Kawhi Leonard's a free agent next year, so
yeah, exactly.
It might be Kawhi. It might be Kawhi. They have no draft picks.
They don't have none. So if they want to trade, they're gonna be looking for draft picks because if Kawhi leaves next season, they are gonna be screwed for like 10 seasons. 10 seasons because if they have four draft picks traded already, so they have every first round pick on the second year, right? So that's a long rebuild if you're gonna be having that extra guy from the draft only one in the second year. So Clippers should, if they would won this year, they would say that's worth it, and it was worth it. But man, they're in a bad position if they don't get it done next season.
But the problem with the Clippers is they don't have a leader right now. They don't have
I think it was. I think they already. Someone said it from the Clippers players even that it was too many new pieces. They didn't get the chemistry in for the playoffs. And if the season would be fully played, the 82 games and then the playoffs, that probably could pan out. But now, shots were fired. We heard that nobody knows that Kawhi didn't want Montrezl Harrell and Lou Williams got a beef with Paul George. So, those guys probably, I think I would see Lou and Montrezl Harrell leaving the Clippers this offseason.
And these are important pieces that
most
of the NBA
that's their whole
needs.
bench. They had 5 guys running on the court, but only 2 were playing, right? So,
But I mean, Lou Williams and
Montrezl Harrell, right? Yeah, it was only 2 guys on offense, when the bench players were in, and it was Lou and Montrezl Harrell. So,
and other
that's
teams,
a huge blow for them.
Other teams are looking for those type of players.
Yeah, and as I would see Lou getting contract from like 29 other teams, they will want him. I don't see a huge market for Harrell. His skill set is really limited when you think about it. He looks good. He's a scrappy player and stuff like that. But the dude can't, make a field goal almost, except those putback dunks and rebounds.
Right.
He can't create if like his life depend on it. So, he's not that good of a player. He fits a role perfectly, but as a guy that you would trade and put him in a system, like for example the Knicks would trade Randall for him, I don't think even I would do it, and I'm not a huge Randall fan.
But he's like the kind of guy that you need, like the grit off the bench, the spark.
Yeah,
he's like the guy from Denver that used to be on Denver. Who's that guy?
Chris
Jeremy
Anderson. Chris
No,
Anderson.
not Chris Anderson. The one with the dreads.
No. Kenneth Fareed.
Kenneth Fareed, right?
The Manimal.
I think he's probably better around the rim in terms of he can play a little bit down low and post up. But he is very limited. He's not going to shoot like that. Like he's a guy kind of staying in the area. I'm not overpaying for him. He might return back to the Clippers just because they might overpay for him just because they need talent. Like they're devoid. They don't have the draft picks. They don't really have a lot of trade capital besides their so-called big stars. And yeah, I don't see. This is like the worst year for some of these free agents, man. The worst year.
And it's going to be bad because of the situation with the virus, right? That thing really is going to mess up the market for many of those players.
That's why I think all the DeRozans and the KCPs, they should opt in, increase their value. Because right now, there's no.
You know what? I think DeRozan, whatever choice he would take, he's going to opt in, and he would probably do it because probably Popovich would, ask him to do it so he can get anything for him. So they would find a deal for DeRozan as far as that organization and player is concerned, as long as I see it.
And I know.
Yeah, KCP, he's going to be a free agent. They're not going to be able to pay him the money, that he probably wants and thinks he's going to be getting, unless he's going to try to play a 1-year safe bet, because it's going to be a hard market for him currently. And we got an interesting question. What do you guys think about Stan Van Gundy signing with New Orleans?
It'll be interesting because Stan Van Gundy, I think the thing with him is that he knows basketball, but he can be kind of grating to younger players, right? I think sometimes he's of that tougher mold, and you got a few young players. You got Ingram, who's a board.
Zion, Lonzo.
Yeah,
a whole young squad there.
And talented players, right? Ingram could be. I don't know if they voted already. I don't think they did, but he could be, most improved player of the year. Ingram.
Definitely he can be.
So it remains to be seen. Let's see. I wonder what he's going to preach his guys. Obviously, his last gig was with Detroit, which didn't go great. And he had a really talented player in Dwight Howard when he was with the Magic. Let's see if guys are more receptive to his style, to his play. I mean, he's going to have, fortunately for Tom Thibodeau, one thing is that he has Mike Woodson. He has some other assistant coaches to kind of, not to keep him in line, but make his coaching not just all about X's and O's. But yeah,
I'm gonna tell you guys a story. We got a small messenger group about the NBA, right? And it's me, a Knicks fan. We got a Chicago Bull fan. We got a Detroit Pistons fan, and we got a LeBron fan because he's rooting only for the teams that LeBron goes to, right? The guy from Detroit, because Stan Van Gundy was the Detroit general manager and the head coach, right? Said when I posted them the info that Stan is going to be the New Orleans head coach, he said that they're not going to be making the playoffs his whole tenure there. So I wonder how that's going to pan out. He was so furious. He was so happy when Stan left Detroit. He was like, man, it's nothing better could happen to the team. So I'm surprised. I didn't follow Detroit that close because they're a crappy team. That's one, right. But I was surprised that he's gonna say that, and he was ready to bet money, that they're not gonna be making the playoffs. So I think they can make the playoffs even in the West. But if it's gonna go that way,
hold on. You guys
can make the playoffs.
Lakers, you still got the Warriors probably gonna go. You got Utah, you got the Nuggets, I think the Grizzlies are gonna go. You got the Blazers.
No, the Grizzlies are gonna be at the end. If they make it, they're gonna be around 7.
Still got Rockets. I just think one more team.
They're not gonna tear it down.
Until they do, that team's still making the playoffs.
Yeah. But you know what? He was talking about, the 4-year tenure because Stan signed a 4-year contract, right?
Right.
So even if they don't make it the first year, I think the development of those young guys, whatever coach you're going to have, they're going to develop at least a bit because of the playing time. And I think they're going to make the playoffs like in 2-3 years, definitely. If not, bro, they gotta sell out the team because
we forgot the Suns.
Yeah, the Suns
might be a playoff team. It's tough, man. Stan Van Gundy, he wouldn't have been my first choice. And it might flop because I think a guy like Zion seems to me that he doesn't not say he doesn't take it well, but he's not a guy who, might like hard instruction because I'm pretty sure he got instructed. They already told him, hey, they tried to ease him into the game. He got pissed. It's like, dogs, you're almost 300 pounds, and you just came off a meniscus tear. I mean, you're not losing weight. So what do you want us to do? You're our prized possession. You're not healthy. You want us to run you out there and then you get hurt for however long? You know what I mean? So you bring a guy like Sam Van Gundy who may try to control that, or I don't know. It might be a recipe for disaster. But hey, guys, I gotta go. I'll be back later tonight, but unfortunately, I have to go. So I apologize for you guys. Andy, next week I'm here, man. Whenever you want to do this again, I'm here. So
no problem, bro. I got.